So let's see what we got here now. So we got the Washington football team coming up. And the Broncos did take Jonathan Cooper out of Ohio State defensive end. I think it's a solid pick. I mean, it's like a safe pick. I don't think he's going to have too much upside, but somebody that could come in, be a rotational player, and contribute at least. So the Washington football team went with William Bradley King out of Baylor, defensive end. Thought he'd be a little bit better for a 3-4 scheme, but, rotating in with some of these better defensive linemen probably can only make him better. So I think it's not a bad pick by any means in the 7th round. Looked pretty good at the Senior Bowl. Let's see what we got here. So we got the Chargers, and they're looking at apparently defensive tackle still. So Marvin Wilson would make sense, but we'll just have to see if that's what happens or not. Then we got the Patriots and the Cardinals. Wonder who the Patriots finish out with. Watch them get Marvin Wilson and Christian Barmore. Both of them kind of fell, honestly. Georgia. And like I said, I thought he was a guy that has a chance to get drafted. Obviously, he had great measurables at his pro day. So, a developmental depth safety that can contribute on special teams with his athleticism. Definitely can't go wrong there by any means. Then we got the Patriots, and we'll see what they do here. Marvin Wilson would be interesting here, like I just said. So, and we got the Cardinals, the Dolphins, the Steelers, Washington football team, the Cardinals again, and the Colts, Rams. So we're getting there. We're almost done. We're halfway through this. Almost halfway through this last round. But who will the Patriots take? Patriots probably take like a kicker, long snapper. See what we got. Come on, Patriots. So the Patriots take Trey Nixon out of UCF. Kind of a little bit of a field stretcher. Not the fastest guy in the world, long speed-wise, but still good enough to stretch the field. Kind of like poor man's Nelson Aguilar at this point, who they actually did sign in free agency. So apparently they're kind of valuing speed and being able to stretch the field a little bit. So do the Cardinals finally take a running back? Here and then picking about 4 picks as well. So they take it there. They take tight end. We'll just have to see, I guess. They could go Kenny Yeboah here too, actually. Slot tight end would make quite a bit of sense. We'll just have to see. Then Dolphins. Dolphins could take a running back still too. Steelers. I wonder what the Steelers will do. I feel like they'll just take best player available. But yeah, this is about to get really interesting with some of these picks. Actually, the Steelers could take one of the project quarterbacks too with that pick. Come on, Cardinals. Come on, Cardinals. Pick already. All right, so the Cardinals picked James Wiggins out of Cincinnati, the other Cincinnati safety. I feel like he's fairly athletic, but does have a tackling problem at times, kind of tendency to dive for guys' ankles. So, good, could be a good pick, could just not be a good pick as well. But, depth safety, I kind of talked about safety as well, beside Buddha role eventually. So the Dolphins were looking at running back, maybe offensive line, maybe another edge rusher, maybe another safety even. Let's see who they could look at here. They could look at Dylan Moses, too, if he's not off their board. Apparently, that's the thing with Dylan Moses. All his injury history, a lot of teams just don't even have him on their board. You got some interesting choices, at least. I wonder if I feel like running back could work here. Where is this Dolphins pick? Then we get to the Steelers, and we're going to be like, are they going to take a quarterback or not? I don't know would that work? Because they got Mason Rudolph, they signed Dobbs back, they signed Haskins. So the Dolphins did take a running back, and it's Jared Dokes out of Cincinnati, honestly. So it's an interesting name. It's a name that some people have kind of been hyping up as well. He's got decent speed for his size. It'll be interesting to see how his game translates to the next level, And that's 2 Cincinnati Bearcats drafted in a row with James Wiggins and Jared Dokes. I'm trying to think who was the running back before him. Because he didn't do much until this year because there's somebody else ahead of him. Michael Warren, I think that was his name. Undrafted free agent last year that went to the Eagles, I think. But let's see if the Steelers pick a quarterback here. Or if they go offensive line or corner. I don't think they picked a corner yet. Let's see what we got here. So we could see quarterback for in terms of project quarterbacks if the right ones go to each team, I guess. Let's see who it is, though. Come on. Come on. Come on, pick. So this pick is Trey Norwood, safety corner out of Oklahoma. I don't think it's a bad pick. I think decent safety depth, somebody you can try to develop as well in that back end. So definitely could work out. And he offers a little bit of versatility because I believe he can play corner as well. Now we'll see if Washington takes the project quarterback. The other pick came in pretty fast, so I think they know who they're picking. We got the Cardinals, Colts, Rams, Bears, Tampa, and then the Rams again. So the Rams have 2 picks in there as well. Takatoni. And I could have swore they just went. Didn't they just draft Bradley King or William Bradley King as well? Yeah, they did. That's weird. So they drafted 2 smaller, like defensive end type players, and they already have a pretty stacked line too. Just trying to take 2 shots on guys to develop, I guess. In logic, but okay. Let's see who the Cardinals take here. Cardinals could take running back. They could take another corner even. They could take another edge rusher. Could take defensive line, tight end, even another shot at wide receiver if they really wanted to. Let's see. Could this be the running back? Took wide receiver last pick. Wonder if they try to go with an offensive lineman now. They could take offensive line too. They got some options for sure. Well, I think we froze. I'm going to try to refresh this page because it is taking quite a while. So the Cardinals go with Michael Menet out of Penn State, the center. So he's going to sit back and probably learn behind Rodney Hudson. So developmental center prospect. Can't go wrong. Or can't go too wrong, I should say. So now the Colts are on the clock. They could look at offensive line, defense as well. Wonder who they go with. Shit. They could go with Marvin Wilson, too. So they went with Will Fries, offensive tackle out of Penn State. Not somebody I was too high on. It does fit their offensive tackle that they needed, but 7th round guy is definitely not going to end up starting day one, you would hope. And the Rams, you could definitely go offensive line here once again. You could look at safety. You could look at corner. You could look at linebacker, edge rusher. Probably just not offensive skill position. I guess you could look at tight end, too. You could look at tight end. You know they have Perkins from last year, but depth wouldn't hurt. Draft Quentin Morris. I'm kind of surprised him and Yabo are both out there still. I think Yabo has more medical concerns, though. Wow. So they went with Ben Scaronick out of Notre Dame. So they've been adding speed at wide receivers. They drafted 3 wide receivers. I don't know why. They already had like 4 ones they like. He's an interesting prospect. I think that might be where he's better suited at. We'll just have to see if that's what they end up doing or not, though. So the Bears are in the clock. Could look for some more offensive line help. Could look for depth at corner. Could look at linebacker, safety replacements that you could develop. And then, let's see. God, who are they going to pick? It's so hard to pick these last couple ones, like these last picks, just because you have no idea what they're going through in their head. Like, yeah, this pick looks easy if you want to take, let's see, I don't even know off the top of my head, but you want to take X running back. So say you want to take Jamar Jefferson. Well, maybe the team doesn't like Jamar Jefferson. So like on paper, it might look easy, but for them, it's how do they fit their scheme and everything like that too. So the Bears went with Tonga out of BYU. Depth defensive tackle piece. I know there's some teams in the NFL that kind of liked him too, so I don't think that's a bad pick by any means, though, especially in the last round. So definitely a good filler guy, and if he makes the roster and can contribute in the rotation, definitely. Now we got Tampa, so you're looking at maybe defensive line, offensive line. That's probably it mainly. Maybe you look at a running back here if there's one that you like. I know they got quite a few guys there already, but we'll see. So 2 in a row is Chris Wilcox. Pretty decent size here, 6'2", about 200 pounds. Probably still a little bit raw. Got to work with him a little bit, but, a 7th round depth piece, developmental type of guy. Definitely a good guy to take a shot on here. See what the Rams. So the Rams just picked Ben Scaronick. More. Because they've been all over the freaking place. So what crazy thing will the Rams do this time? Side linebacker Chris Garrett out of Concordia, St. Paul. Yeah, don't know anything about him. I assume that's a D2 or a D3 off the top of my head. So not a guy that I really heard of so far. So yeah, the Rams continue with their interesting draft. So So the Broncos take Marquis Spencer out of Mississippi State, defensive lineman, rotational type of, 3-4 end essentially at this point. So, not a bad pick there. Steelers are up again. We'll see if they take their developmental project quarterback this time. So what will the Steelers do here? So we're looking, come on, Felipe Franks. So let's see. So they went with punter Presley Harvin III out of key punter. 5'11", 263 pounds. So that was not a developmental quarterback at all. So we got a couple more picks left. So we got, 5 in total. Saints, Packers, Lions, Washington, and Tampa. So the Saints went with Quan Baker out of South Alabama. He's another guy that had a really good pro day. Not too much information out there about him otherwise, though. We'll see what the Packers do this time. Maybe this is their best pick yet because they just seem to do a little bit better every time since like the beginning of the day at least. Then we got Lions, Washington, and Tampa Bay left. Come on, Packers. What you got? What you got? Ooh, they could do a Marvin Wilson, a Dylan Moses here still. God, that's a pretty good chance to go undrafted now that they made it this far. There's some decent options out there to pick. Let's see who they go with, though. Will this be the Packers' best pick yet to date? We'll have to find out whenever they tell us. And the biggest question is who's going to be Mr. Irrelevant this year? So the Packers go with Kylan Hill here. That's probably their best pick of the draft. So, yeah. Now, what will the Lions do? That's the real question. What could the Lions? So Lions still need safety. They could go safety. They could go linebacker. And they could do another wide receiver too. Even tight end. No, not tight end. Jamar Jefferson.